Canto 10. The Call of Caledon. Pray seasons pass in peace when bravest knights take peradventures seeking holy grails, till all cut short like magpie nester lights. The Picts are coming back like ghouls on gales. Dumbarton's fall must change with no delay, says Arthur, once for all, this wingless dragon slay. So, donning his old shirt of mail, he led the loyal Cymry back northwards at Stow-on-Weedale to the mother's rectory all prayed. Through Paitland vales made trail till over Albany. They saw the maiden castle on the crag, perched like an all-pervading mountain stag. A mile away he pitched up camp, an old volcano falls into the damp beneath a lamp, a faded scroll unrolls. We strike the castle at those points where lowest fall the walls. Dunsappy Hill 516. The Battle of Mount Agned. The game is on. The roaring army storms, trident wielding Neptune thrice divided, as such a restless force of violence forms, this victory in one charge decided. But for the blood which fate ordains to pour, the gamble understood by all who gain from war. Far from the warm heat of the hall, and family to dote on, still thick in battle, strong and tall, King Arthur's belly caught one, but indomitable in soul, Bedouin fought on, sensing his zenith, moments such as these, as when a poet first Parnassus sees. We have no time for prisoners, and less for wains and wives. This cruel business, inglorious, though Lord God gave us lives, these scum satanic pagans make sure not a child survives. Edina. The Round Table. Up to that wide and scenic tidal mouth which Clyde feeds fairly from the Alban hills, the Celtic men are marching east and south. Their king in them a mighty strength instills. That vital dish of posi-praxis pure dismisses all anguish and trepidation's cure. As when the warbling flower bug penetrates the healthy flock, they silent reach the double plug of volcanic pointing rock. Those slimy slugs, asleep all snug, are in for quite a shock. Prepare the men to go at dawn's first light. But first I needs must speak with every knight. That close-knit crew did form a crowd round Arthur in a ring. Puffed up and proud, uncouth, uncowed, strengths to the table bring. Men like Sir Kais and Bedivere, who'd served no better king. Strathclyde 517. The Battle of Mount Badon. As when one eats one's breakfast in the park and pities with bread a little pigeon, whose keen-eyed cousins set off at the spark, instantly surround us as a legion, Kai's kindred pour about Sir Bedivere, who'd broken down the door with battle axe and spear. The sun had not yet took his throne with golden paint applying, before hot blood and blocks of bone sent through the battle flying. A battle done in early morn, hundreds dead and dying, and to 1,000 prisoners a line of Picts depressed the dragon's limping spine. King Arthur drew his Hittite blade and cut 1,000 throats, while clerics prayed as Delphi made blood sacrifice of goats. To please the gods, to please his God, to hell each shade demotes. Dumbarton 517. The Rot of Guinevere. As when one sits in the dip of great hills, then sees an early setting of the sun, and when descends the shadows and the chills, eyes ride along the peaks whose highest one, still struck with gold, a titan in the sky. This peak then Arthur bold, his foes to terrify. His name is fated everywhere, at each utterance a cheer. His famous feasts were more affair, frivolous and full of beer. But one turned sour. From her own chair, Mordred drags Guinevere. For she had slighted him, she dissed his youth, forgetting that he knew her sordid truth. How dare ye, wench, think ill of me, when ye hath stooped so low? Now I shall be thine enemy, piped Arthur. Go, son, go, before love's angers steel my mind to deal thy mortal blow. Kellywig 535. The Rot of Mordred. As when one's cap blocks out the cloudless sun, but neath the peak its reflection shimmers on mirrors waves, and eyes now unopen fill with orange light in rapid glimmers, when dangers hoard signs scenes on every side, alas, by minds ignored, ballooning with ill pride. King Arthur reigned nigh 20 years within his mighty bubble, 'tis hearing Guinevere's sad tears for true love under rubble. So when the grave crisis appears, Arthur sensed no trouble, but as to dust all creatures must return, old enmities and rivalries shall burn. Now is the trance, Mordred the worm met land-hungry Yangles, for strong and firm must end the term of his constant wrangles, and with his death see how swift ties of loyalty untangles. Bernicia 536. Camlann. The best part of 200,000 men are come to share this dreich and dreary space, a flaunting moor above a crooked glen, where Dagger dragged a cat-trail with his mace. Weakening eyes divides his men threefold. Sire, is that very wise? Sir Kai, do as ye are told. Young Merlin sat above the scene. From Agned he had wandered. At bardic school barely 19, on poetry had pondered. On murder, ghastly and obscene, somebody had blundered. For Arthur was failing his final test, this last dim weird grim battle of the West. Mordred espies his family, his heartbeat scenting blood. Cross combat here bare bitely, cross ghosted beneath his hood, that shook a knife through Arthur's ribs and dropped him where he stood. Yarrow 537. The death of Arthur. What good a kingdom when a life force fades? What use are riches when your end is near? What help is power when we join the shades? What use remorse when one can shed no tear? Death, dark and dread, lay cold bones upon him, so very nearly dead, light winched in, ever dim. As gravity dictates our end when precipices crumble. Sir Bedivere, he gasped, old friend, thought horsey, hoar and humble. My blade with thee I do intend, do not fudge or fumble, but in that lake o'er there, it ye by ye must throw, it ye must throw. He's dying. But in that lake o'er there, it ye must throw. Never let it be clutched by Saxon foe. For while it stays unhidden there, our souls they shall not rule. A gulp of air, an angel's stare, be a spittled in red drool. King Arthur died, his famous blade lobbed in that flaming pool. The Dead Lake 537. Arthur the legend. The blood-red western dulled the day of charms. Across this charred and melancholy waste of severed heads cradled by lopped off arms, the dead are heaped up in a scowling haste. These cairns of stones shall hide the rotting scent of flesh dripping from bones, legs broken, sprawled and bent. King Arthur's corpse a better grave was among the fallen found. Respect to him his victors gave as they lay him underground. Though dumb Longinus, Nudos brave, ingrained atop the mound. Sarcophagus forgotten by the Celt, as off to safer mountains they did melt. Where wide across the mighty vale of vast eternity, o'er neeps and dale they'll tell a tale of ancient chivalry, of how a bastard's fist bested Hengist's hegemony. Bittern, 540.